Okay, so you want to run a Viking trading operation. A long ship cutting through fjord mist at dawn, a dragon-headed prow, warriors singing, as furs and silver promise a fortune at the far end. And honestly, who wouldn't want that? Then you read a real eyewitness account from the year 921. A traveler named Ahmad ibn Fadlan meets a group of Rus traders camped on the Volga River. He doesn't describe berserkers screaming into battle. He describes men weighing silver coins on folding scales, arguing prices, praying to wooden idols for a buyer with gold. This is what running that trade actually looked like from the inside, not what the sagas sang, what the scale weighed. So let's build this business from scratch and follow every gram of silver through it. First correction, and it matters. Viking was never an identity, it was an activity. Going Viking meant raiding, seasonally, occasionally. Not a full-time job, not who you were at breakfast. Most Norse wealth moved through trade, not through battle. And we know this because of where the coins turned up. Numismatists have counted tens of thousands of Islamic silver coins buried across Scandinavian farmland. Nowhere near a single recorded raid. A raiding longship might carry 40 men once. A trading network like this one fed thousands of households, year after year. You are not funding a longship full of raiders. You're funding a river trading convoy, furs, walrus ivory, and enslaved people, moving south and east, and silver dirhams moving north and west, all the way home. Before you spend a single gram, you need an honest way to measure value, because this economy runs on no fixed currency and no minted local coin. Silver gets cut into fragments, hacksilver, and weighed on portable folding bronze scales, piece by piece, transaction by transaction. So that's our ruler for this whole video. Grams of silver on the scale, not currency names, because in this economy, that scale is the only honest number that ever existed. Now, what does it actually cost you to enter this trade? A proper ocean-going trading ship, a nar, needs mature oak, seasoned for years before a single plank is cut. No contract survives naming its price, and any specific figure you see quoted online is invented. There's no receipt. What we do know is the labor, a master shipwright, months of skilled work, iron rivets by the hundreds, imported sailcloth, a trained crew willing to be gone for a season or more. Call it a serious capital outlay before a single fur is ever loaded aboard. Then come the recurring costs, and the river does not make this easy. Byzantine sources describe the route south down the Dnieper toward Constantinople in real detail. 7 named rapids that force you to unload your entire cargo and portage it overland, exposed, while hostile riders watch from the ridge above. Byzantine writers name these riders as pechenegs, watching the rapids for exactly this moment of weakness. That's a toll paid in risk, not in coin. Local rulers charge tribute too, at river crossings and border posts, and every stretch of water between your ship and Baghdad has a price attached to it. Then there's simply keeping the crew alive. Dried fish, grain, casks of water and ale, enough for months away from home. Under provision, and your crew mutinies or starves before the first sail is made. Over provision, and you've burned cargo space that could have carried furs instead. Now here's where it actually starts making real money. Furs get you the attention. Sable, marten, beaver, prized across the southern markets, but furs alone don't explain the sheer volume of silver flooding back into Scandinavia. Ibn Fadlan is specific about the other cargo riding on those same boats. Enslaved people, sold off platforms built directly onto the traders' vessels. The word slave itself descends from the word for Slav. One recent reinterpretation of a Swedish runestone puts a single enslaved person's price at around 12 ur of silver. Traders also carried silver arm rings, deliberately cast to be hacked apart into fixed weights on demand, wealth you could wear and still spend. Convert your furs, your ivory, and your captives into dirhams at the markets, and one good voyage could bring home thousands of coins in silver. Here's what breaks the whole operation, though. You carry no insurance, lose a convoy in the rapids, or to a raid of your own, and the debt is still yours to answer for when you get home. Now, the good year and the bad year side by side, because this trade is far more volatile than the silver flowing in makes it look. In a strong decade, tens of thousands of dirhams reach the north every year. Archaeologists still dig up hoards, like the one on Gotland. 67 kilograms of silver, 14,000 coins buried together and never collected by whoever owned them. That's what a good run through this network could actually put in your hands. With a surplus like that, you could buy a second ship, hire more crews, or sponsor another man's voyage and take a cut without risking your own neck. Then, starting around the 960s, the silver dries up at the source. The mines feeding the Islamic world's silver coinage start running short, and fewer dirhams make the trip north at all. Hoard after hoard in the archaeological record simply stops appearing after that point. Your entire regional economy, it turns out, was downstream of a mine 2,000 miles away, and you never controlled it. So who actually got rich running trade networks in the Viking Age? Not the raiders the sagas remember best. Look instead at a chieftain named Ohthere, who told his own story in person to King Alfred of Wessex around the year 890, 600 reindeer, tribute paid in furs and hides by the Sami people under his control. Walrus ivory brought south as a diplomatic gift, not seized at sword point. They got rich on tribute, trade routes, and steady relationships, not on raiding parties, and not on a single lucky voyage. Could you get rich running a Viking Age trading operation? Yes. If you're the one holding the scale. If you're the one gripping the axe on the beach, considerably less likely. The sword got the sagas. The scale got the silver.